What's up, Ply users? This is Ryan making my first YouTube tutorial. In this video, we're going to be setting up a player, spawn him using the player manager, and have him using the specified animations around our scene moving around. So let's get started by opening up Unity. And along with this tutorial, I'm going to release my own character model. Feel free to use it in any of your projects. You can use it to follow along these tutorials that I'm going to make. I'm going to use this character. It should help you out a bit. So let's get started. I'm going to release it in a folder looking something probably like this with just these two in it. You can just drag him along into your project. Beforehand I made this folder called Personal Models. You can name it whatever you want. You just drag it into that folder to be organized. So you're going to click on the FBX, go to Model, set the scale factor to 1, generate colliders, and apply that. Now, after we're going to move over to Rig, set it to Legacy, and apply that. Let's expand him, go down to the Art, drag the diffuse map onto the shader. You don't have to hit apply or anything, and we should be good. Drag him in there. He is colored correctly and scaled correctly, so we're going to add something for him to walk on. Game object, 3D object, plane. Let's move these both down to the midpoint by just setting them to 0, 0, and 0. Let's find it. It's rather small, so we're going to hit R to resize it up, W to move it down. And we're going to create another game object in the exact same location as our model, which was 0. And we're going to drag him and make him a child of that game object. Now let's just rename that something like Mage Player. And we're going to need to add some components. We're going to add a plyGame controller. I'm going to use the third person one. So go here, we'll add a camera. It's here. And a way to animate him. We're going to use the legacy animation controller. Let's set that up. As of right now, I don't have that many animations for him, but I will update him as we continue with these series. Hopefully we're going to be making an RPG together. I think that'd be cool. Show you everything that I do to create it. So we're going to just copy and paste the walk animation down. And since these are backwards, we're going to play the animation in reverse. We'll do the same exact thing with run. And let's set up the character controller. Since you can see it's kind of low, we'll move the Y up to 1 and the radius down to 0.3. Actually, since I have messed around with this, I know that the jump delay is going to be around 0.35. And we should have him walking around in our scene using the animations that we specified. Pretty cool. So, here's what I would like to do. I would make a new folder in this personal models folder. Name the folder model. Just drag all these in there to be a bit more organized. Make another folder called prefab. Open that up. Just drag our player prefab over there. We can delete him from the hierarchy. Let's add a light so it's easier to see. Light, directional light. Make that 0.4. Let's add some reference points. We'll just use not an empty game object, but rather a cube. Put it down to where he's going to be. Move it, duplicate it by Control D, just moving it. And there we should be able to see that he is moving. So what I'd like to do is create an empty game object, rename it to something like environment, and just move all these down in there. We'll be more organized in the hierarchy. So let's add a point where we can spawn our player. We're going to location marker. We'll rename it to player spawn point, and we'll move it to the middle. And we need to set up our player manager. On our prefab of our player, we're going to have an actor set, class rather. You can just do that by going here, classes, hit the plus button, name it, add your attributes, which are here. You're going to want to make a health and experience and then link them by getting the drop down and selecting them. And that should be it. So we'll go to our player manager by going over to actors, player manager, and we can just drag that prefab up here. We'll create another empty game object, and I like to use this as the logic to a good bit of my game, so I'll just rename it to logic, add a plyBox component to it, add a state, add an event, common, on start, because on start we're going to want to spawn our player. So we'll go to character, spawn player, we can drag that player spawn point right up there, and everything should work. It's going to spawn our player at the player spawn point. And it in fact does. He uses the animations that we specified. We can see that he can jump by hitting the spacebar, moving around with WASD, to move the cameras, left click, to move your character's direction is right click and hold. He jumps and everything is set up, and that is setting up a player in plyGame, spawning him using the player manager, and have him walking around in your scene with the animations that you specified. Alright, so I'll see you guys in the next tutorials. Thank you.